Greetings. Happy Father's Day. Let's see here. On this Father's Day, I'm going to partake the defense of someone who has been much maligned in the history of English literature, and that would be Polonius. Yes, that's right. That Polonius. Let's see here. Let's go straight to the source, shall we? Far from being the quote, as air quotes, because the things I'm about to say are actual quotes that I have read on virtually every stupid, stinking little character analysis website that there is. He's ridiculous. He is self-absorbed. He is cliched. He is overbearing. He's an overbearing windbag. False, 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 false. All of them are false. Everybody who's portrayed him that way, and that's most everybody, has been wrong. Every character analysis website that has ever talked about him that way is wrong. Dead wrong. Period. End. Wrong. The only people that should be doing a character analysis of him are the people who have played him in the past. And I would be willing to bet that most of those people at some point in time, during the rehearsal process, during the whole working out of the deal, have thought to themselves, you know what? This guy's actually not that bad. But then they get swayed because everybody says he is ridiculous, self-absorbed, overbearing windbag. You know, the only time that he's actually spoken of ill in the play is after Hamlet kills him and he calls him, an intruding fool? Keep in mind, that's by the guy that just murdered him. Okay, so this is why I say this. Okay? And I'm going to try and make this as short and sweet as possible here. If you view him through the context of the time in which he lived, the situation and circumstances in which he found himself, and the circumstances in the play, virtually pretty much everything he does and says is pretty much right on. He tells Ophelia, get the hell away from Hamlet. And he's right. He's right. He's right. Laertes does the same thing, and he's right too. There's no way that Hamlet can be with her. We all know that. If you know anything about the time and how marriages were arranged back then, they have no hope together. So then what's Hamlet after? Hamlet, I'm sorry to say, is after the same thing most men are after. Or at least that's the way her father sees it, and rightly so. Her honor, again, air quotes, I get it. Her honor at that time in history is a huge deal. So the advice he gives her is correct. The fact that he doesn't exactly recognize why Hamlet is insane and he views it as relating to Ophelia more than relating to Gertrude and Claudius, he's a little bit wrong. He's wrong on that. But think about this. Can he really go to Claudius and say, hey, guess what? Hamlet's actually crazy because the circumstances around the death of his father were kind of iffy, and then you married his mom. I don't really think that's an option for him. So he goes to option 2. Well, maybe it's because I told her to stay away from him and he snapped. Love sickness. It's not like it hasn't happened before. The advice he gives to his son before he goes off to college, a lot of people like to call that a cliche. Well, guess what? 400 years ago, it wasn't a cliche. And the truth is, it's still to this day good advice. This is it. There, my blessing with thee. These few precepts in thy memory see thou character. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act, which I'm doing right now, so I'm not taking his advice. Oh well. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Those friends thou hast, and their adoption tried, grapple them to thy soul with hoops of steel. But do not dull thy palm with entertainment of each new-hatched, unfledged comrade. Beware of entrance into a quarrel, but being in, bear it that the opposed may beware of thee. Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Costly thy habit as thy purse can buy, but not expressed in fancy. Rich, not gaudy. For the apparel oft proclaims the man, and they in France of the best rank and station are of a most select and generous chief in that. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow, as the night the day, that thou canst then not be false to any man. Farewell. My blessing seasoned is in thee. Good advice. Every single one. This guy has been wronged. Let's think about this one last thing before I go. At the end of the play, Polonius, Laertes, Ophelia, a whole family, all, what do they have in common? They're dead. They're dead because of Hamlet. He's the dick here. This whole thing should be reworked and viewed through the context of that family. Then how would we look at Polonius? I'm telling you. He is severely and utterly and totally maligned. Happy Father's Day.